接下来进行的是论文发表，让我们掌声欢迎主持人黄美婷教授。
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my honor to host this session. In this session, we will have two speakers to present their talks. The first one will be Sister Cynthia Emeka, and the second one will be Professor Lin Xiangyi. So for each scholar, you will have 25 minutes for your speech. And after two talks, then we will have 20 minutes for a Q&A. So first of all, let me introduce a little bit about the first speaker. She's Sister Cynthia Emeka, and she's currently doctoral student at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa, Nairobi-Kenya. And her topic is participation of young people in environmental-based holistic healing and African perspective. So for Professor Lin, I will introduce him later. So first of all, I invite you to give a big applause to welcome Sister Cynthia Emeka to give her talk.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Welcome, Sister.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Dear friends, I am happy, I'm very much honored and happy to present my topic in this conference. The topic of my presentation is participation of young people in environmental-based holistic healing, an African perspective. That I said an African perspective does not mean the same reality doesn't happen in any other place elsewhere in the world. So as you can see, please, can you continue with the slides? Go to the topic.
Yes.
Yeah, go to the topic, the second slide.
Yes, second slide.
I'm still seeing the first one from my angle. Anyway, as a way of introduction, holistic healing is a comprehensive approach to well-being that recognizes the interconnectedness of human health and the environment. It brings the whole human family together to seek sustainable and integral development. As we all know, in recent years, there has been growing recognition of the need to address environmental challenges and promote sustainable development. However, in Africa and beyond, climate change threatens homes, health, and the natural resources which many people depend on for survival. These disrupt the lives of millions of people. Many are living as migrants, displaced from their ancestral lands. This phenomenon has led to a genuine sense of solidarity, and the common good disappears. It's not only a danger, a feeling of instability and despair, but also it equally affects the life and mission of the church, hence posing a new pastoral challenges. Young people, as now of God, according to Priest Vivid, and the custodian of the future, has emerged as a powerful force in driving change and advocating for a more sustainable and equitable world. Their active participation in holistic practices, in holistic healing practices that integrate environmental consciousness holds a great potential for fostering a harmonious relationship between humanity and the natural environment. Pope Francis, in his encyclical letter, Laudato Si', invited us all to enter into dialogue with all people about our common home. He not only emphasizes the reality of life as integral, in which some of the previous presenters have mentioned, but also, not only that the life is as integral to creation as a whole, and it is also meant for a personal relationship with God and one another, but also, he also reiterates the role of young people. So this, my presentation from the pastoral perspective and guided by the process of liberation, argues that a concerted concern for the environment is integral to holistic healing. Thus, there must be a conversion of minds, hearts, and way of life. So, the paper adopts the pastoral cycle method known as the spiral crisis. This method has 4 moments: the moment of insertion, pastoral social analysis, theological reflection, and the way forward, all in the light in relation to our natural environment. So the paper is divided into these 4 moments. The first moment, explores the concept of environmental-based holistic healing and its practices. That is from the African worldview, which, when comprehensively articulated, it will lead us to read the signs of time in order to discern the key pastoral crescendos. So the first moment, the environmental-based holistic healing. Please, can you move the slides? So environmental holistic healing, it is an approach that comprises, or it emphasizes, the interrelationship between human health and the natural environment. It recognizes that the well-being of a human person is linked to the health of the ecosystem they inhabit. This holistic approach integrates sustainable practices, environmental awareness, and a deep connection with nature to promote health and wellness. Environmental holistic healing practices encompasses several components aimed at fostering harmonious relationships between individuals and their environment. And these components include, first, indigenous wisdom and nature-based tradition in Africa. Africa is rich in indigenous wisdom and nature-based tradition that form foundations of environmental-based holistic healing practices. The worldview acknowledges, it acknowledges the interconnectedness of humans, the nature, and the spiritual realm. It is deeply embedded in the cultural practices, rituals, and storytelling, providing a holistic understanding of health and well-being. Also, religion and spirituality in African worldview hold great importance in African society. Many young people in Africa turn to spiritual and religious practices as part of their holistic journey and seek guidance. For example, traditional healers, often referred to medicine men or women, play a crucial role in their communities in bid to preserve the environment. They utilize a combination of herbs, rituals, and divination to diagnose and treat human diseases, even that of the environment. These healing practices have been passed down through generations, maintaining their significance and relevance in African society. In Africa, the environment is seen as land. Here, land plays a crucial role in holistic healing, as it provides the foundation for human well-being and sustenance. Environmental holistic healing practices involves activities such as ecological restoration, sustainable agriculture, biodiversity conservation, and eco-spiritual rituals. These practices aim to address the root causes of environmental degradation while promoting a holistic understanding of human-nature relationships. For instance, in the Igbo cosmology, Igbo is a tribe in Nigeria. They view land as the handwork of God, the creator and maker of all things. And also, according to Francis Arinze, this spirituality promotes nature through practices exemplified in their worship system, tradition, culture, as well as other values that represent the earth. Land, seen from the perspective of a person. Personhood in African wisdom encompasses a holistic understanding of the human being that goes beyond individuality and emphasizes interconnectedness, the sense of community, and spirituality. So, by integrating environmental, social, and economic dimension, sustainable development seeks to meet the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable agriculture and permaculture. Agriculture, as I have said, it plays a significant role in African society, and young people are exploring sustainable farming practices as a form of environmental holistic healing. Concepts such as agroecology and regenerative farming are gaining attraction. These approaches prioritize soil health, biodiversity, and ecological sustainability, aligning with the principles of environmental holistic healing. Healing seen as a development. African countries, and that is when we talk about the conservation and the eco-tourism. So African countries are known for their abundant natural beauty and diverse wildlife. Especially in the eastern part of Africa, here in Kenya, young people are engaging in conservation efforts and eco-tourism initiatives, viewing them as an opportunity for environmental-based holistic healing. By actively participating in wildlife conservation, habitat restoration, and eco-conscious level, young individuals contribute to the preservation of the environment while finding personal healing and fulfillment. Despite the fact we have the environmental-based holistic healing holds great promise, there are also some challenges that young people in Africa face. First, the socio-cultural barriers. In African traditional relationship with nature, human beings recognize the importance of rivers, land, forest, mountain, among others. Young people or young generation, they were instructed on how to relate to and care for their environment through their elder. So the destruction of traditional practices leads to a separation from the nature and a lack of awareness that humans are part of a wider ecological conservation. This leads to unsustainable activities, resource overexploitation, and a loss of cultural heritage and identity. My brothers who have spoken previously have made mention of the issue of identity, so I'm not going to delve deep into it. So, discrediting the sacred, our common home, we always affect the flourishing of humanity. The sacred here refers to the transcendental atmosphere that enchants us and leaves us in our way. It is a sort of experience that catches the depth of ecosystem, and it looks beyond the physical of the ecosystem. So the indigenous religious rituals aiming at the spiritual development of the environment are ignored, and this has weakened the sense of stewardship, the lack of resource and support. Young people often, they struggle to find the necessary resource and support to engage in environmental holistic healing initiatives. Limited funding opportunities, lack of mentorship, and inadequate access to tools and equipment hinder their ability to implement projects effectively. Without proper support, it becomes challenging for young people to bring their ideas to fruition. Technology and innovation as catalysts. Technology and innovation offer significant opportunities for enhancing the participation of young people in environmental healing. Digital platforms such as social media and online networks provide avenues for youth mobilizations, knowledge sharing, and collaborative ministry in caring for our common home. So these approaches may face skepticism and resistance from various stakeholders, including policy makers, industry leaders, and even some members of the general public. Young people advocating for holistic healing methods might encounter resistance and skepticism due to lack of established credibility and experiences. Despite there are challenges that young people face, there are also some opportunities. First, the technological advancements. Advancement in technology offers significant opportunity for young people to engage in environmental holistic healing. The accessibility of information through the internet and the social media platforms allow young individuals to educate themselves about holistic healing practices and share their knowledge with a global audience. Additionally, technology can be used to harness, to develop innovative solutions and tools that aid in holistic healing initiatives, collaboration, and networking. And also advocacy and policy influence. Due to time factor, I am not going to say them different. So let us see the teaching, what the church is saying. These are mostly insights for Pope Francis. Then from the biblical teaching, in the biblical account of creation, we find profound wisdom and insight that can be related to environmental-based holistic healing practices. These references highlight the significance of the natural world, the interconnectedness between humans and the environment, and the responsibility to care for the earth. The biblical references, we have cited some of them, just few, shed light on the importance of our relationship with the natural world. The creation account found in the Bible, especially in the book of Genesis, presents a fundamental narrative that explores the origins of the world and humankind. Within this narrative, we can uncover teachings and principles that resonate with the principles of environmental holistic healing. First, in Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 to 3, that is the creation of the world, we found that in the account of God's creation of the world, it emphasizes the divine, that is the divine design and order in the natural world. Each element of creation, from the heavens to earth, from the land to sea, is crafted and pronounced as it is good. This recognition of the goodness and sacredness of creation forms the basis for environmental holistic healing, which acknowledges the inherent value and interconnectedness of all living things. Also, the stewardship of creation, in which the human person is given the responsibility to take care of the earth. Also, in the Romans, in the letter of St. Paul to the Romans, we see where the creation is growing for redemption. Then the question that comes to mind, why? Because, because of the distortions, because of the way the human person are using and making use of the environment, it's a kind of, it's growing. So the book of Romans, it speaks of creation, longing for redemption and liberation from its current states of decay and brokenness. Pope Francis said that the earth is wounded and is crying. So this passage highlights the interconnectedness between humans and the rest of creation. It emphasizes the recognition and the understanding that the well-being of individuals is tied to the health and flourishing of the earth. Insight from Laudato Si. The Catholic social teaching, rooted in the principles of justice, solidarity, and care for creation, offers us a framework for addressing environmental protection challenges. Pope Francis, in his encyclical letter Laudato Si, provides a profound reflection on the ecological crisis and emphasizes the need for environmental stewardship. This suggests that humanity's relationship with God has been broken down. The central Judeo-Christian concept is that God, as creator, freely bestows existence and vitality on all that exists. The human person is created in the image and likeness of God to be the visible sign and effective instrument of divine graciousness, as well as cultivator and custodian of the goods of creation. Pope Francis provides the key principles and messages that are relevant for engaging young people in environmental healing. Laudato Si emphasizes the importance of education, dialogue, in which in this particular presentation I termed reverential dialogue, and participatory decision-making processes. It encourages young people to become actively involved in caring for the earth, promoting ecological sustainability, and fostering a culture of solidarity and social justice. For Pope Francis, Earth is God's gift to us, which is full of beauty and wonder. And we must shut down all activities that are unfriendly to environmental sustainability. In other words, Earth's resources have made humans advance at an unimaginable rate, but we have mistreated the earth as if resources are unlimited. He advocates for care of our common home. He urges Christians, especially the young people and some other believers as well, to care for nature and for the most vulnerable of our brothers and sisters. He also reiterated the aspect of communion and said that everything is related. And we human beings are united as brothers and sisters on a wonderful pilgrimage, woven together by the love of God, by the love God has for each of his creatures, which is united. So this emphasis clarifies our oneness with Mother Earth. The same holistic approach continued in the early church when we talk about the communal living in the Acts of the Apostles. Then, emphasizing on the features of our common home, Pope Francis also said that the human person grows more, mature more, and is sanctified more to the extent that he or she enters into relationship. He's still emphasizing on the need, the importance of being in relationship with our environment. One continues to be in communion with one's brother. He went on to say that communion continues to develop if authentic social dialogue is embraced. This involves the ability to respect others' point of view and admit it may include legitimate convictions and consent. African perspective on environment on Laudato Si also highlights the resonance of its message with indigenous knowledge systems and cultural practices deeply rooted in the continent. For example, African communities have long recognized the interconnectedness between humans and nature and have developed sustainable practices that promote environmental stewardship. By embracing Laudato Si, young people in Africa can draw on their rich cultural heritage and contribute their unique insights to environmental-based holistic healing initiatives. Towards participation of young people in environmental holistic healing. In Africa, young people are increasingly embracing holistic healing approaches that integrate traditional wisdom, spirituality, and environmental consciousness. Pope Francis' encyclical Laudato Si, with its emphasis on the interconnectedness of humans and the environment, provide us a relevant framework for understanding and supporting holistic healing practices. First, the indigenous wisdom and spirituality.
Sister, you still have 3 minutes. Thank you.
I'm almost concluding. First, using the indigenous wisdom and spirituality. Holistic healing practices in Africa often draw upon indigenous wisdom and spiritual beliefs that emphasizes harmony with nature. So by integrating traditional healing practices such as herbal medicine, energy healing, and ritual ceremonies, young people in Africa are rekindled their connection with the natural world and embracing holistic approaches to health and well-being. Then the environmental stewardship. The way Laudato Si emphasized on the importance of responsible stewardship, young people also can engage in holistic healing practices, often demonstrate a deep respect for the natural world and commitment to environmental conservation. In conclusion, as we have seen, starting from the observation, the challenges and opportunities, we conclude that holistic healing is something to do with restoration to life after it has been frustrated or impeded, be it human or our environment. It therefore involves God's plan, and it involves God and his plan of love for humanity, manifested in the mystery of creation and sustained in the mystery of the incarnation and the salvific event. Holistic healing is never a private and limited to humanity in isolation, but it is integral to creation. Holistic healing requires a mindset renewal and conversion. Thank you so much. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, sister, for your marvelous speech. I'm sorry that we could not give you enough time. Next time we arrange several hours for you. Because the next session will be presented in Chinese. So if sister, you would like to enjoy a little bit Chinese, you stay. But if not, you could go back after this speech for the Q&A. Okay. So I will switch my language channel to Chinese right now. So if you need a headset, please arrange it.